3, all right? Microphone number 2.
Chairman, I'd like to introduce Mr. Craig Caulfield.
Mr. Caulfield.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Henry and all of the directors. Craig Caulfield's my name.
Yep.
I'm representing a shareholder, but I also represent many bank victims, and we call ourselves bank warriors, such as the fight that we have. I would like to reflect on the gentleman's comments before about the looming clouds post-Royal Commission. I've got a potential solution that could be a great, looming cloud buster, and that is, I think that each and every member of the board, the chair, the CEO, the executive, I'm sure you all mean very well, and your heart is there wanting to get through the Royal Commission, through the things that have gone wrong. And I see a disconnect, and I'm at a different level to where you are. I'm at a level of being a maligned customer. And I see this disconnection from the coalface up to the board. I know that the board and the directors need to be separated from the management, from the executive. But it would be a good idea if each of the board members were to meet an aggrieved customer, perhaps once a month. Someone like Elon Musk in America, he's built a substantial business with Tesla. He said his greatest way of moving forward is talking to his angriest customers.
Yeah.
For example, he has a filter in his cars, and the term for it, if I can find it, is the bioweapons defence mode. Now, everyone has a car filter. His car filter is about 10 times the size. He developed this after talking to a customer that wasn't happy with the filter. And now it's a unique and a key selling point for their cars. I think if you are able to engage directly at the coalface with aggrieved customers, I'm not saying connect with customers, I'm really past hearing about satisfaction ratings where you might poll people that are walking outside of a bank, and what experience did you get? The gentleman before, Mr. Schott, was saying, the staff, they are wonderful, the tellers, the staff, and the management at that level. People have a great experience, walk out, get polled, and your satisfaction ratings are so high, and you can all take comfort in that. But if you ask those people 5 years later, or 2 years later, or 10 years later, how's your experience with the home loan? Or, the court proceedings that we've sent to you? Or how we dealt with financial hardship? Or a request when you reached out to us? You would get a different picture. So if you could reach out to us, and if you could connect to us, if you could, have something to say, look, on a regular basis we'll be meeting with these aggrieved customers. I'm happy to join the board. That's the first of 3 points.
Can I deal with that one first?
Certainly.
Yeah, can I deal with that one? There's a lot in it. And actually, I found myself, even if you couldn't see it, I found myself nodding. I felt myself nodding. Look, okay. Firstly, the board does meet with customers, and we meet with customers a lot. We started this some time ago. I think you would all, maybe you're not aware, but a couple of years ago, the board, for the first time in its 160-year history, had a board meeting outside of a capital city in Australia. We met in Toowoomba. And in meeting in Toowoomba, having a board meeting in Toowoomba, all of our committee meetings in Toowoomba, each of the board members went out and met with customers. Now, of course, most of those were not aggrieved customers of the sort that you're talking about. But we did, in client events, meet some aggrieved customers, so the board, actually, each of the directors had that experience. Subsequently, we've met in Moree. We had, as a board meeting, we've had board meeting in Parramatta. That's not exactly rural and regional Australia, but it's not the CBD of Sydney either. And very recently, we had a meeting in my hometown of Taree on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. The whole board met there. We had all our committee meetings there. We met with customers there, both happy customers, most of them were, but not all, and aggrieved customers, okay? That's the first point. The second point is that you are absolutely right. You can really get the wrong message from looking at customer satisfaction indices. Net Promoter Score, which we track, like all the banks track, you can really get the wrong message from Net Promoter Score. When I read the APRA commissioned review into the CBA, a light bulb went off in my head, right? Or above my head, above the head. And the light bulb was this: it's actually not where the average is, the average experience of customers that matters. Well, there is some information in that. But most of the information is actually down in, what statisticians call the tail of the distribution. But what we're talking about is the people who are unhappy. And it's very important that the boards understand why people are unhappy. And so we commissioned something in the board. We get a customer experience report now from management every month, which sets out the verbatims, people telling us why they're unhappy with the bank. We read this every month. In a board meeting that we had yesterday, we went through that and we asked ourselves the question, is this good enough? Or should we be hearing more about the customer experience? As I said in my prepared remarks earlier, we have decided, because of proposals that have come from shareholders, not customers, ironically, but from shareholders, we've decided to have a customer outcome subcommittee of the board so that we can drill into some of these issues in deeper fashion. Because of the negative feedback that has been received, not just by the board, but also by senior management, we have transformed the way inside the bank that we think about the development of services for customers, end-to-end processes where it starts with the customer. What is the problem? Why is it that the experience is so bad? How do we fix all of our systems, the processes, the policies, the training of the staff, the risk assessments, the financials, the technology, everything, in order to get a better customer outcome? So we are doing these things. With respect to your particular proposal, which I find very interesting, should we go even further and each of the directors meet, let's say, once a month with one or two aggrieved customers and get to understand? We're going to look at that. I give you this assurance. At our very first board meeting next year, we'll have that on the agenda.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting you there.
Okay, thank you.
I have two.
Thank you. Yep, no, you've got more questions. Yeah, sorry, microphone 2, could you make sure it's still on, please?
Is this still on?
Yeah,
Yes, that's fine, sorry. These are brief. One is about the BEAR legislation.
Yep.
That's clearly helped you, and I think that's a good thing.
Yep.
Is that BEAR map, NAB's BEAR map of accountability, is that transparent? Is that available to the public to see? So that someone that has a case, for example, an aggrieved customer, Selwyn Crep, he can see who the accountable person is.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know that it is.
No, I don't think it is.
No.
It's been obviously sent to APRA.
Yeah.
But I think, coming to your point around you're trying to find out where accountability is.
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking at them. So I would receive any. You don't have to worry where the accountability lies. I'll make sure we find the right spot for you. So if there's any client concerns, you just need to contact myself and I'll make sure it gets to the right person.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Thorburn. More generally, though, I think if there was a map there that was available to the public, it's very transparent, part of this new open transparent. Just consider it.
We will consider it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thank you. The final point was, where you do engage with customers in litigation and court proceedings, would you, at the board, would you commit to saying that you will undertake all of those proceedings as a model litigant?
I understand your question, because where I was before coming into banking, I understood what model litigant meant, because the Australian government is committed to it. All right, that's another thing for us to think about at our first board meeting in February, when it might be a matter of, well, I hope it's not a matter of great interest to us in our February board meeting, frankly, but for reasons that you'll understand. But I think it's a very good question.
Okay, I have been...
There's a lot behind your question, which I understand and you obviously understand. So we need to reflect on that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.